Good morning. Hi. Today once again I have given the questions from all level past papers. So we'll start. So once I start the discussion, it is compulsory to turn on the video, right? Hands up those who are still writing. Okay. So all of you have to turn on the video when I start the discussion, right? The ones who have informed me, it's okay. Uh, as one of you have informed me. අනිත් හැමෝම videos on වෙන්න ඕනේ. Otherwise, actually I told you, I gave the excuse for several weeks, but now that is over. Because you have to actively participate, you have to give me the answers. සමහර අය ඇවිල්ලා පේන්නෙත් නැතුව උත්තර දෙන්නෙත් නැතුව ඉඳලා යනවා. ඉතින් ඒක හරි මටත් පවක්. Right? ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ parents ලා, the innocent parents, they have kept a big trust that you are doing the work. So it should happen properly. අනිවාර්යෙන් හරියටම කෙරෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා හැමෝම videos on කරන්න. මට inform කරපු එක්කෙනෙක් ඇරෙන්න. අනිත් හැමෝම ඒ කියන්නේ අර because of the bad weather there were certain impacts නේ. ඒ නිසා මං excuses දුන්නා දැන් දිගටම. In another 2 minutes we'll start, right? හරි. Shall we discuss? Turn on the videos. Hari, videos on karan. Okay, Netmi, Shenela, Manuti. Okay, the others turn on the video. Proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids are three basic types of organic compounds contained in living matter. So, why are proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids called organic compounds? So, what's your answer, Induni? Why do you call them as organic compounds? Because these compounds contain carbon as a component. They contain carbon. For that, you get 1 mark. Say two elements that may be contained in proteins but not contained in lipids. Yesterday in the paper also we did such a question, right? Two elements that may be contained in proteins but not contained in lipids. Yes, Sechita? Oh, what are the elements? Yes, Sechita. Sechita කිව්වද ඇහුන්නේ නැහැ. කියනවා ඇහෙන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. Yes, Tavindra. Nitrogen and sulfur, yes. So nitrogen is essentially contained in proteins. In some of the proteins, we find sulfur as well. Right, 2 marks. Name the structural unit of proteins. Muri. Amino acid, 1 mark. Then state a common function of the compounds, proteins and lipids. Common for proteins and lipids. Yes, Janindi. Acting as structural components. In the plasma membrane, that's true. Acting as structural components. Akshaya, another one. Acting as sources of energy. Yes, correct. So 1 mark. A common function, right? Only one is asked. Therefore, you get only 1 mark. Right? Acting as structural components and acting as sources of energy. Number 5. There are two major types of nucleic acids. One of them is called DNA. What is the other type? Yes, that is RNA, right? 1 mark. Then may O-level paper questions, right? මොකුත් අමාරුයි කියලා කියන්න එකක් හම්බුන්නේ නැන්නේ. Then in a living cell, name the organelle that contains DNA. In a living cell, name the organelle that contains DNA. That is the, yes, all of you. That is the, all of you කිව්වට කියන්නද? Yes, DNA තියෙන කොහෙද? In the nucleus, right? In the nucleus as well as inside the mitochondrion also we find DNA fragments. Right? So you all may have written the nucleus, 1 mark. Explain how the genotype of an organism is changed in gene technology. Yes. Genotype is changed in gene technology. So what did you say? Upeksha, what did you write? Hari, but the answer is not included there. Ne? So you have mentioned what is genotype, what does it do? How the genotype is changed, Kela. Right? So, Sesandi. Yes. So we insert or remove, add or remove DNA parts to the genome. That is how the genotype is changed by using gene technology. Uh, so you have to say removing certain parts of DNA or introducing parts of DNA to the genes, right? Then you will get 1 mark. Adding or removing certain parts. We identify a gene which is responsible for a certain favorable characteristic, right? And we just remove that part from a certain organism and introduce it into the genome of another organism, right? Or we just identify an unfavorable factor and just remove that part from other organism. Okay, adding or removing DNA parts. Name the species of microorganisms used to produce insulin by means of gene technology. So what is it? How the? E. coli bacteria. E. coli bacteria. E. coli bacteria. And marks given name. For part 7, 1 mark. 8, another 1 mark. Hari. It is required to verify that a crime was committed by the suspect of the crime using a sample of hair collected from the site of the crime. State how gene technology is used for that. How gene technology is used for criminal investigation. Yes, Dinut, what did you write? It is used to identify the that comes the could you please read it once again? To say whether it is correct or wrong? අයක සැරයක් කියවන්න අමාරුද? ඒ කියන්නේ ලියපු එක නෙමෙයිද කියුවේ? අඳිනොත් හිතලාද කිව්වේ? Hari. So you have to say that you are comparing the DNA fragments of the sample of hair as well as the DNA of the suspect. You compare the DNA of these two, sample of hair and DNA of the suspect. If they are matching, if they are similar, then we can identify that suspect as the criminal. And you have to say by comparing DNA obtained from the sample of hair and the DNA of the suspect. My idea you will get 1 mark. Hari. The figure shows yes tisas tenuja video on karanna. The figure shows how two electrical appliances A and B are connected to a 6-volt battery. Hari. It is indicated that the specifications of A are 6 volts, 12 watt, and the specifications of B are 4 volts and 0.5 ampere. S1 and S2 are two switches. Name the way A and B are connected to the circuit. So you know A and B are connected parallelly. For that you get 1 mark. ඊළඟ එක අමාරු නාද? මොකද the power and power, voltage and current, that equation actually you don't know. What is the current flowing through A when switch S1 is closed? When S1 is closed, what is the current passing through A? So, on එක නම් දන්නේ නැතුව ඇති ඔයගොල්ලෝ because it is taught in grade 11. So, the power of an electrical appliance. You have learned about power related to the work done, right? එතකොට power equals work done divided by time, or power equals energy divided by time නේද? මෙතන electrical power is equal to VI. ඒ කියන්නේ voltage into current. එතනින් තමයි we can find out the current. I equals P over V. P over V. So power is said to be 12 watt and the voltage is 6 volts. Therefore, the current passing through the circuit is 2 ampere. Through the circuit නෙවෙයි, through A. That is 2 amperes. ඒක බැරි වෙන්නේ නැති නේද? What is meant by stating the specifications of B as 4 volt and 0.5 ampere? මොකක්ද එකෙන් කියන්නේ? 4 volts and 0.5 ampere. ඒක පුළුවන්. What does it mean? Yes. නමක් කියන්න ඕනේ නේද? Yes, Metuja, what did you say? Oh. Again, then in the electrical appliances that we are using also, they have mentioned the voltage that should be supplied. Neither 230 volt කියලා තියෙනවා. That is why we can use them in our domestic electric circuit in Sri Lanka. Right? එතකොට for the proper functioning of these devices, we have to provide that voltage. So, if a voltage of 4 volts is applied, a current of 0.5 ampere will pass through it. මේ voltage එක දුන්නොත් මෙන්න මේ current එක යනවා කියන idea එක තමයි තියෙන්නේ. If a potential difference of 4 volts is applied, a current of 0.5 amperes will pass through it. That's the idea. For that you get 2 marks. I think the marks දෙකක් දුන්නා. When a potential difference of 4 volts is applied කියනවාට 1 mark, then a current passing through B is 0.5 amperes කිව්වට another 1 mark. Altogether 2 marks. හරි. Then when switch S2 is closed, the appliance B should operate according to specifications. For this, what should be the potential difference across R? දැන් ඒකත් පුළුවන් ඔයාලට. දැන් මෙන්න මේක තමයි බැරි උනේ. ඔන්න එතනින් හොයාගත්ත එක පල්ලෙහාට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් you can use that. ඒක ඕනේ නෑ මෙතෙන්ට. When S2 is closed, then ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා this 6 volt battery, these and these are kept parallel to each other. නේද? So in a parallel connection, you know, the potential difference across the terminals is the same. දැන් මෙන්න මේ terminals දෙක අතරේ the potential difference is 6 volts. In between these two terminals also it is 6 volts. So that voltage drops across the devices. And මෙතන it says 4 volts are dropped across B. එතකොට overall voltage is 6 volts. මෙතන 4 volts නම් this should be 2 volts. කම කියන්න පුළුවන්. Right? That is 2 volts. How did you get that? You should know that in a parallel connection, the voltage across the terminals is the same. For saying 2 volts, you get 1 mark. ඊට පස්සේ what is the current flowing through R in this instance? Current flowing through R. So here it is 0.5 amperes. Since this R and B are in series, the same current passes through both. Right? The same current passes through both. And through R, the current passing is 0.5 amperes. 1 mark. එහෙනම් calculate the due value for R. එතකොට V equals IR, R equals V over I. Right? V is 2 volts, I is 0.5 amperes. Therefore, this is 4 ohms. 4 ohms. 1 mark. 2 marks. 2. For equation or the substitution, 1 mark. For the final answer, 1 mark. And then, how much is the current drawn from the battery when both appliances operate? එතකොට දැන් මෙතන අපි හොයාගත්තා 2 amperes කියලා. Through A it is 2 amperes, through B it is 0.5 amperes. එහෙනම් how much is the current drawn from the battery? 2 plus 0.5, that is 2.5 amperes. 2.5 amperes. That is 1 mark. At 1 mark, here 2, 1, 1. ඔන්න ඔයගලන්ට මේ 2 කියන එක හොයාගත්තේ මෙන්න මේ ස්ටෙප් එක නිසා. එතකොට ඒ දෙක දන්නේ නැත්නම් you will lose only second part එකට කීයද? then 2 marks. මෙන්න මේ 2යි 1යි 3ක් තමයි අඩු වෙන්න ඕනේ ලකුණු. Is there anyone who got 20? නෑ නේ. 19, 18, 17 is possible, right? අර marks තුන අඩු වුණාම 17 නැද්ද කාටවත්? Yes. 16. Okay, good. 4 of you. That is 16, right? And on the other days, I ask up to 16 only. The other, because of these 3 marks, I will ask for 15 as well. 15. Okay. Hari. So go through the things that you have made mistakes. Just neglect that part 3 and 5, since you did not know that equation P equals VI. That will be taught in grade 11, 5th unit. Current electricity in domestic electric circuits. Hari. Okay. Then in the 19th lesson of grade 10, we have discussed so many questions, right? So you can go through them. If you are not there, you can go through the recordings. ඉඳලත් තව මදි කියලා හිතනවා නම් ආපහු සරයක් recordings බලලා ඒවා කරගන්න. Hari. Then the second question. Okay, shall we discuss? Naraine, still doing? Hari. Videos on karanna. Uh, a student mass 40 kilograms stayed at a lower level uh, in the school premises, climbs a flight of steps of 1.5 meter vertical height, and enters a building at a higher level. How much is the increase in the potential energy of the student who reached the higher level from the lower level? Yes, how much is the increase in the potential energy? So what you have to do is, you can calculate the increase in the potential energy by using the equation mgh, right? So the mass is said to be 40 kilograms, g is 10, and when we are considering the height, we have to consider the vertical height, that is 1.5 meters. So that is equal to 10 into 1.5 is 15. 15 into 4 is 60. So it is 600 joules. Right, increase in the potential energy is 600 joules. For the equation or the substitution, 1 mark. For the final answer, 1 mark. Good marks. Then how much is the amount of work done by the student here? So actually, the amount of work done is stored in the form of potential energy. The work done is stored in the form of potential energy. Therefore, you can directly write that it is 600 joules. You can just calculate and see. So, the work done equals force into displacement. So, here the force is the weight of the student. Weight is 400 Newton. And the displacement is, actually we should not consider this distance along the stairs. Actually what happens is the person is being lifted from this level to this level only. So that is the displacement. So we have to consider the vertical height there. So 400 into force into displacement can once again 400 into 1.5, that is 600 joules. එක මොකුත් calculation එකක් නැතුව කරන්න පුළුවන් by using the concept. The work done is stored in the form of potential energy. Therefore, the work done is 600 joules, 1 mark. If the student took 4 seconds to climb the steps, what is the power of the student in climbing the steps? Here, the power right? Power equals, yes, work done divided by time. Nathang energy divided by time, because the work done is stored in the form of energy. You can say power equals work divided by time. So work is 600 joules and the time duration is given as 4 seconds. So the power equals 600 divided by 4 means 150 joules per second or watt. 150 joules per second or watt. So for the equation or the substitution, once again you will get 1 mark, and final answer with the units 1 mark. 2. හරි නේද? මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. You can even send to the chat or unmute and ask. So yesterday we had a session for nearly 3.5 hours. Some of you weren't there, but not all of you. A uniform wooden block of mass 1 kilogram is kept at rest on a rough horizontal table, as shown in the figure. Under how many forces does the wooden block stay at equilibrium? Under how many forces? Yes, there are only how many forces? Yes. Yes, Tesini. Two forces. Yes, the weight and the perpendicular reaction. Name what those forces are. So you have to say weight or the gravitational force, and the other one is the perpendicular reaction. One mark for each. Weight of the block of wood and normal reaction. 2 marks, one for each. Two forces keyword 1 mark. Then 1 mark, here 2 marks. Copy figure 1 above in your answer script and mark those forces. So you know the weight is acting from the center of gravity. So you can mark the weight like this and the reaction like this. So you know W is equal to R. If you have marked them like this, W කියලා ලියලා, then R if you have written like this, it is also okay. But they should be collinear anyway, along the same line, collinear. 2 marks, make it 2. 2. Then what is the magnitude of each of those forces? Magnitude of each of those forces. එතකොට මෙතන කියනවානේ mass 1 kilogram කියලා. එහෙනම් 1 kilogram mass means the weight is mg. So 1 into 10, that is 10 Newton. So W is equal to R. Therefore both are 10 Newton each. W equals 10 Newton, R equals 10 Newton or 10 Newton each කියලා තිබ්බනම් you will be given 1 mark. Right? 10 Newton each. Hari. Another identical wooden block is kept on the above wooden block as shown in figure 2. Of the instances shown in figure 1 and 2, in which instance is the limiting frictional force between the surface of the table and the wooden block is greater? So is it instance 1 or 2? Yes, Gavisha? In instance 2. What is the reason? Instance 2 කියලා කියන්න. For that you get 1 mark. Why? ඊළඟට අහනවා explain the reason for your answer. So the perpendicular reaction is increased. You know, limiting frictional force depends on 2 factors. Nature of the contacting surface, whether it is rough or smooth. And the other one is the perpendicular reaction, right? Perpendicular reaction. Now you have to say increase in the normal reaction. Increase in the normal reaction. You will get 2 marks for that. 2. Increase in the normal reaction. When the normal reaction increases, the limiting frictional force also increases. Then AC and CB shown in the figure are 2 rectilinear roads, AC and CB. Their lengths are 220 meters and 500 meters respectively. The shorter distance between the places A and B is 600 meters. Now, if you write the answers mindfully, actually you can score all. අමාරු නැහැ. A motor car starts from the state of rest at A and moves along the roads AC and CB and comes to rest at B. It took 120 seconds for this motion. Taking the motion of the car into consideration, calculate the following. The distance traveled by the car. So it had taken this pathway AC, CB. So the total distance is 220 plus 500 meters. Right, that is 720 meters. 1 mark. Right, 1 mark. ඊළඟට sorry, average speed of the car. So you know speed equals distance divided by time. Speed. Average speed ne එතකොට total distance divided by time. Average speed equals total distance divided by time. So the total distance is 720 meters and the time duration they say as 120 seconds. 120 seconds. එතකොට it is 6 ms minus 1. 6 ms minus 1. For equation or the substitution 1 mark. Final answer 1 mark. Altogether 2 marks. හරිද? ඒ නිසා තමයි you have to always write the equations and substitute in the second paper. Displacement of the car. So he started the motion here and ended up at B. So the shortest distance in between these two is 600 meters. 600 meters from A to B. So to make it 600 meters කියලා තිබ්බනම් you will get 1 mark. The number 4 average velocity. එතකොට average velocity කියන්නේ average velocity total displacement divided by time. Right? Displacement divided by time. කොච්චර ලේසිද බලන්න මේකෙන් 20 20ම ගන්න පුළුවන් හොඳටම. Time. So the displacement is 600 meters. Time is 120 seconds. So that is 5 ms minus 1. Average speed is 6 ms minus 1. Average velocity is 5 ms minus 1. Equation or the substitution 1 mark. Final answer 1 mark. 2. Hurry. Put marks out of 20. බලන්න දැන් මේකේ 20 out of 20 තියෙන්න ඕනේ. හරි. 20. Okay, Tavindra, good. Manuti, very good. How is that all? Tavindra and Manuti only. Tisas, you got 20. Okay, good. Then 19. Etuja, Shenela, Dinot. Okay, good. And Muri also, 19. Right, good. Then 18. Netmi, Upeksha, Tesini, and Induni. Finally, 17. Good. No one. Again, all have got 18 or above. Hari. 19 ගන්න වරදින්නත් තැනක් නෑ නේද ඒකේ? හරි. දැන් පුළුවන් තරම් try කරන්න to obtain the maximum mark, right? හරි. On the last question ඊට පස්සේ you asked me to revise something, no? So today I will revise the velocity time graphs, right? So this is a structured essay question. ලියන්න. Sorry. Sorry. Shall we discuss? Sure, since it is a part A question, you don't need that much time, right? The teacher provided the following materials and equipment to students: a nichrome wire coil, 4 dry cells, an ammeter, a switch, a voltmeter, a rheostat, connecting wire. The figure shows an incomplete circuit diagram of a setup arranged by those students to examine the relationship between the potential difference between the two ends of the nichrome wire coil and the electric current flowing through it. By what name is the way the dry cells are connected to the circuit known? The dry cells are connected in series, right? 1 mark. Ko videos on karana දැන් ආපහු. In series. Draw in the circuit diagram the standard symbol of the equipment that should be connected between the terminals X and Y. So that is the ammeter. We need to measure the current flowing through the circuit. So we have to connect the ammeter here. Right. For that you get another 1 mark. Why is a rheostat connected to the circuit? Yes. Why do we connect a rheostat? To change the current flowing through the circuit, or change the voltage, to change the voltage. No any other answer. Don't say to change the resistance. Don't say like that. Right? You have to say to change the current or to change the voltage across the circuit. 1 mark. State a condition that would that would result if the switch is kept closed for a long time after completing the circuit correctly. මොකද වෙන්නේ? Yes, if we keep the switch on for a long time, what will happen? මොනවද වෙන්න පුළුවන්? Yes, the temperature of the nichrome wire will be increased. Hari, increase in the temperature, increase in the resistance. Hari, Gavisha says for the previous one to adjust the current. Hari, to adjust. To change, to adjust. Okay. So the temperature can be increased, the resistance can be increased when the switch is on for a long period of time. The dry cells can be discharged. But when we are proving the Ohm's law in that activity, we have to take the reading as soon as we close the switch, and we have to open the switch once again, because the Ohm's law becomes true when the temperature is kept constant. So if we keep the switch closed for a long period of time, the temperature can be increased. Right? Condition that would result, you can say increase in the temperature, increase in the resistance, discharging of the dry cells, any of these. 1 mark. Part B. The following activity was done by a group of students to find the center of gravity of a metal statue. The head and the 2 feet of the statue were placed on the smooth pans of 2 identical balances, and X and Y kept on a horizontal floor as shown in the figure. The reading in balance X was 250 Newton. Here it says the reading is 250 Newton. And the reading in balance Y was 150 Newton. Here it says it is 250, and here this is 150 Newton. Okay. What are the forces acting with regard to the equilibrium of the statue? Yes. What are the forces? Here you can see the weight is acting from the center of gravity. One is the weight, and the normal reaction from point A, and normal reaction at point A, and normal reaction at point B. Noetica Q you will get how many marks? 3 marks. Weight or the gravitational force, 1 mark. Perpendicular reaction at A, 1 mark. Perpendicular reaction at B, another 1 mark. Altogether 3 marks. For mentioning the forces. 3 marks. What is the reaction R through the point A? And the reaction is through the point B of the statue. So, you know, the weight is acting downwards and it is indicated by the balance. Therefore, the weight is equal to the perpendicular reaction. Therefore, R equals 250 Newton. There S equals 150 Newton. Because the weight is 150, the perpendicular reaction is equal to the weight. There. Now, what is the weight of the statue? Yes, the total weight of the statue is W. Weight, this W is equal to R plus S. Equilibrium of an object under 3 parallel forces. Mathakada? The resultant of 2 forces is equal to the third force in magnitude and opposite in direction. Therefore, weight equals R plus S. Again, 250 plus 150 Newton, that is 400 Newton. 1 mark. Right? Yes, for this one 2 marks. Third part 1 mark. The distance from A to the center of gravity of the statue G is simple D. Here this distance is given as simple D. Write the moment of the weight of the statue around point A in terms of D. Write the moment of the weight. So, weight is acting downward, so it makes a clockwise moment, that is W into D. Right? That is W into D. You can say W is 400 into D, Newton meters. 400 into D or W into DQ 1 mark. What is the moment of the reaction S around point A? What is the moment of the reaction S around point A? This is point A, right? This is point A. So, this S causes a counterclockwise or anti-clockwise moment around point A. So, S is 150 Newton. The perpendicular distance is said to be 2 meters. And now, 150 Newton into 2 meters, that is 300 Newton meters. At 300 Newton meters. For that you get 2 marks. So here you have to think of the equilibrium of the object. Weight is acting downwards and the 2 perpendicular reaction forces are acting upwards. W equals R plus S. Therefore, the object is in equilibrium. Number 6. The anticlockwise moment of S around point A is equal to the clockwise moment of weight W around point A. Find the value of D. 400 into D. 400 into D is the clockwise moment. That is equal to the anticlockwise moment around point A. That is 300 Newton meters. And D equals 3 over 4. That is 0.75 meters or 75 centimeters. 75 centimeters. For that you get 1 mark. 2 marks. In බලන්න 3 then 2, 1, 1. Here 1 mark. Sorry. Here it is 1 mark, here 2 marks. For the substitution 1 mark, final answer 1 mark. Harida, put marks out of 15. Have you got any problem related to that? Okay, Akshaya. Hari, 15 out of 15. Okay, Dinot, very good. Amanuti, well done. Isas, very good. Hari. Then 14. Now you are happy now when you get good marks, when you get the total mark. Okay, Upeksha, Miyuri, Metuja. Good. Then 13. Tessini. Hari. 12. Tenela. Tenuja. Hari. If you have got less than that, just think what are the things that you have forgotten, right? So definitely you have to take immediate steps to get them corrected. Harida. Over there. Fourth. This one. Maker. What is the moment of reaction S around point A? What is the moment of the reaction S around point A? Then the forces acting here are here at the center of gravity. The weight is acting. The gravitational force is acting downwards. So at these 2 points, the statue is in contact with the pan balance, right? Therefore, the perpendicular forces or the normal reaction forces are acting at these 2 places. So this is something like an equilibrium of an object under 3 parallel forces, right? එතකොට අපි දන්නවා now for this object to be in equilibrium, then if we think by means of the moment, then මොකද වෙන්නේ? මෙතන we are asked to consider point A. Then if there is any unbalanced force acting on this will either topple එක කැරකිලා පෙරලෙන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් this will not be in equilibrium, right? So since it is said that this statue is in equilibrium, there is no any unbalanced force acting on it. And then in the 4th part it says, 5th part, what is the moment of the reaction S around point A? So we can think of a diagram like this. This is point A and this is G and this is B. B. So at point B, S, the perpendicular force, that is 150 Newton. Here, force R, is acting there, that is 250 Newton. And it's something like this, no? Then the weight is acting downwards and we found that the weight is 400 Newton. Now here it talks about the moment. So what is the moment of the reaction S around point A? So this S, the force is upwards. So this causes, so we have to consider this line of action of the force and the pivot point that we have considered. This force S causes an anti-clockwise moment. Then because of the weight, it is acting downward, so it tries to rotate clockwise. So counterclockwise or anti-clockwise, and this is clockwise. So since the clockwise moment is equal to the anti-clockwise moment, this is in equilibrium. What is the moment of the reaction S around point A? So that is 150 into the perpendicular distance is said to be 2 meters. So 150 into 2 meters. We have to consider the distance from this line of action of the force to the point of rotation. එතකොට මේක 2 meters කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා. So that is 150 into 2 meters. හරිද මෙතුජ? ඊට පස්සේ දැන් මෙතන the weight W, this distance was said to be D. So in the last part we were asked to find the value of D. එතකොට the clockwise moment is equal to anti-clockwise moment. Clockwise moment is 400 into D, this perpendicular distance. And the anti-clockwise moment 150 into 2 meters, that is 300. That is how we found the value of D. Hari. Then let's revise part එකට වෙලා මදි. ඔයගලන්ට extra නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ආයි paper class එක මම වෙන දාලා නැහැ. ඊයේ තමයි තිබ්බේ. ඊයේ recording එකත් මම group එකට add කළා. You have to watch that because we discussed 6 questions altogether, both part A and B questions. පැය 3කට කරන්න තමයි ඩිසයිඩ් කරගෙන හිටියා. හැබැයි 3:00ක් විතර ගියා. ඉතින් ඒක ආපු අය හිටියා ගොඩක් අය. මම ඊයේ 10 ඔයගොල්ලන්නුයි O level batch එකේ අයටයි දෙගොල්ලන්ටම join වෙන්න කිව්වා. හැබැයි participation අඩුයි. ඒක මම දැකලා තියෙන ඕනේ class එකක අර වෙන additional date එකක් දැම්මම ඉතින් නිවාඩු කාලේනේ හැමෝටම නිවාඩුනේ. international schools, private schools, government schools ඔක්කොම නිවාඩු දවසක් බලලා තමයි දැම්මේ. You have to join, right? Podi frequent changes I had to make because of a upgrade going on here. I think එක මම මේ කෙනා එන වෙලාවට දැන් ඊයේ හවසත් එතකොට එයා හා කියන වෙලාවට මේ බැහැ කිව්වොත් එතකොට එන්නේ නැහැ ඊට පස්සේ ඊයේ හවස ක්ලාසස් දෙකත් ඒ විදිහට කරන්න බැරි වුණා. ඉතින් ඒ හැමදේම කරන්නේ මෙතන සෙටප් එක හදාගන්න. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පේන්නේ බෝඩ් එකක් තියෙනවා මම ඉන්නවා එච්චරයි මේකේ අර ලයිටින් ගොඩක් දැන් ගිය අවුරුද්දම අර පොඩි ට්‍රයල් එකක් වගේ කළේ මේ ලයිටින් එක එක විදිහට දාලා බැලුවා. දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට අර මැදින් දිලිසෙන ගතිය නැහැනේ නේ. කලින් තිබුණානේ එහෙම එකක් බෝඩ් එක මැද දිලිසෙනවා ඉර පායලා නේද? ඒක දැන් නැහැ නේද? ඒකට ඉතින් එක එක විදිහට ලයිටින් දාලා අර LED මේ දැන් ඩාර්ක් හයි කරලා තියෙන්නේ වටේටම. ඉතින් ඒක හදාගන්න චේන්ජස් ටිකක් කරගන්න තියෙන නිසා ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දට තව හොඳට වැඩේ කරගෙන යන්න. හරිද? ඒ නිසා අර දින එක එක විදිහට වෙනස් කරන්න උනේ සමහර වෙලාවට ඒක ඉෂුව එකක් වෙනවත් ඇති. දැන් ආයි වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔය විදිහට කරගෙන යමු. මේ paper class I haven't changed. Last week විතරක් ඔන්න holiday එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා 27. ඊට කලින් දවස් 4ක් හෝ 5ක් කෙරිලා තමයි holiday එක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. හරි. එහෙනම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හොඳට දැන් බලා ගන්න මේ ටිකේ term test තිබුණත් නැතත් you revise the things, keep in touch, right? මේ කාලේ හොඳට මහන්සියෙන් ඉස්සරහට ඊළඟ සතියේ ඊළඟ මාසේ මොනවා වෙයිද කියන්න දන්නේ නැහැ නේ. දැන් in Japan they had experienced two big earthquakes. There can be so many natural disasters, it is said, in future. නේද? ඒවා එකක්වත් අපිට කියන්න බෑනේ. Even the scientists are confused these days about the things happening. හරිද? අර solar rays වල වෙනස්කම් වෙලාලු. The angle of the earth has also to the axis there is a particular inclination. That inclination has also been changed කියලා කියනවා. We can't control any of these things. අද දවසේ කරන්න තියෙන වැඩ ටික හරියට කරන්න. හරිද? හෙට මොනවා වෙයිද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් පහුගිය දවස්වල වුණ දේවල් we didn't expect නේ. Some of you experienced flood conditions for the first time in life. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ දේවල් we can't predict. ඒ නිසා අද දවසේ කරන්න තියෙන වැඩ ටික හොඳට කරගන්න. ආයෙ තව කල් තියෙනවා, හෙට තියෙනවා, ඊළඟ සතියේ පුළුවන්. එහෙම කල් දාන්න එපා වැඩ. හරිද? Okay then. We are having the theory class today at 10 o'clock, right? Stay safe and have a nice day.